Are we listening to a broken record? It feels like every single time I log on to any of the financial websites or turn on my favorite financial related channel these days, all they talk about is the same bullshit talking points from the Federal Reserve. Transitory inflation, they said. All right, so this morning they're talking about how the market has barely moved, how the market didn't really move after, once more, record inflation numbers last week, and that the reason the market's not moving is because the market has already priced in up to 3 Federal Reserve rate hikes next year. Oh, really? I wish someone would just have the balls to stand up and say, you know what, Jim? Maybe the market just flat out doesn't believe the Fed anymore. Maybe it's because they've been on the record, I don't know, every week, every month for the last year, 2 years saying, we're going to cut this down. We're going to tail this back. We're going to raise rates. We're going to help, spurn the economy and all that other crap that just never happens because inflation is out of control. These guys have put themselves in a corner and now they don't know what to do. I mean, think about it. Think about it for a second. In 1982, when we saw inflation this high, federal bonds, the 10-year Treasury, for instance, was yielding 10%. Today, it's 1.47%. What are they going to do? They're going to raise rates when the labor market is already as bad as it is? I don't know about you, but I can't find good work. Nope, can't find anybody to do the job these days. So that's the discussion this morning. Welcome back, everybody. It is December 13th, 2021. Let's get to today's Metal Minutes starting right now.
I just take the money and go stack up. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So a little rant there. Dare I say this week's Fed decision on Wednesday probably won't do anything, okay? It won't do anything because it never seems to do anything. But I do want to welcome you back and remind you that this Wednesday, the Fed will be meeting again. There's a lot of discussion around interest rate hikes going into 2022. All right, so how else should someone assess this landscape going into the meeting? I mean, stocks last week were pretty much unmoved after 39 years high inflation. We're still seeing some problems in the labor market. I just don't get it, guys. I really just don't get it. The S&P closed up 3.8% last week. It seems that, here on these stacking channels, mine included, we talk all the time about how terrible the Fed and our government runs our nation's currency, how terrible they are at balancing a budget. And yet we have these precious metals here, and there's many great reasons to stack precious metals, but so many people come to this channel and they say, I'm stacking precious metals to hedge against inflation. Yeah, well, how's that working out for you, all right? Because flat out, it's not. It's not working out, all right? Gold is down, silver's down, platinum's down, but yet stocks are up. What the hell? So let's talk about it, okay? Looking at crypto, none of this has really moved the crypto markets. The top 6 coins right now, looking at the last 24 hours, they're all down. Bitcoin in the mid 48s, and Ethereum still slightly below $4,000. As a reminder, Ethereum was below $2,000 just 6 months ago. All right, so let's take a look at gold. And gold, as you know, still stuck in this rut. It's really been trading between $1,780 and $1,800 now for the last couple of weeks. Did try to make a little move earlier this morning. You can see that there in the chart. But once the market was getting close to opening there in New York, as usual, it's always right around 8 a.m. Things seem to go crazy. Don't seem to understand how much influence, happens at 8 a.m. But if you look at the charts closely, you see a lot of things happen at 8 a.m. All right, so gold hanging around $1,790 this morning. Not much to talk about there. Still a great value, still very stable for securing your wealth. Now, silver, not much movement in silver either this morning, though the pattern is showing to creep up somewhat. And maybe we'll see that headed into Wednesday's meeting. It's really hard to say, but silver's still trading in the low $22 to mid $22 range, even on all this record inflation, okay? So maybe one of you out there has a better explanation, that is, as to why, other than just, it's manipulation, that we constantly hear without the actual explanation on what the manipulation is. I don't know, okay? I like silver. It's a great way for me to save, but it's absolutely doing nothing for the last, 6 to 9 months, which is really upsetting. Let's get to platinum, okay? And platinum is still showing under $1,000, all right, which is tempting me to buy some more. My next video will actually show you my latest platinum purchase, so stay tuned for that. I'll have that for you here within the next couple of days. So not much going on in platinum, unfortunately. Now let's turn our attention to the dollar, which has made a pretty strong case during 2021. Looking at the year-to-date chart, you can see the dollar is currently sitting at 96.26 on the index, and that trend is up for the year, but pretty flat for the last 30 days or so, as the dollar seems to have kind of stalled out around 96 on the index. And let's go ahead and move to the treasuries, where most of the talk has been this morning. A lot of talk on the 10-year bond and that nearly 10% yield the 10-year treasury was paying back in 1982, when we saw inflation, very close to the levels that we're seeing today. So pretty crazy. I don't expect a whole lot to move in the market today, guys, unless there's a potential leak. Going into Wednesday's meeting, maybe, somebody leaks something out to the media that's reported that could cause a little panic in the market. But if that doesn't happen, things should stay pretty stable pending something unforeseen, like a war or some catastrophe or something like that. But the market is pretty well unmoved today. Things have barely changed, even with all the record data coming out about energy costs, food costs, everything. Everything's up. Everything's higher, except for silver, it feels like these days. But that's the minutes today, guys. Really appreciate you tuning in. This is a chance for me to kind of express my feelings about what's going on in the market. Sometimes good, sometimes frustrating, but I'm happy that you're here. Please come back. Please join me frequently for these precious metals reviews as well as market news. Thank you all. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon on another stacking video.